Alright, so this video here is for if you got any of these answers incorrect, and I will show you how to fix what you got. So here we go. First of all, let me erase these. Alright, so on number 1, I'm going to go pretty quickly, so if you need to watch it for a second time, a certain problem for a second time, go ahead. And just pick around, to whichever answers you didn't get, and, pretend we're in class and I'm going over the answers with you. Alright, so for number 1, what I'm going to do for number 1 is clean this up. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 to both sides. So I get 5 radical x plus 3 equals 20. Then I'd have to divide by 5 to get rid of the 5. So finally I end up with the square root of x plus 3 equals 4. And so at this point is where I come in and do a square on both sides, because a square will get rid of a square root. And so from there, we get x plus 3 to pop out because these cancel. And then 4 squared is 16. Take away 3. 13 is my answer. I do a quick check. 13 plus 3 is 16. The square root of 16 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 4 is 16. So, mentally, quick check. All right, for number 2, clean this up. Take away 4. So I have a cube root of 2x minus 5 equals 3 this time. So here, to get rid of a cube root, to counteract that, I cube. So I have 3 cubed. So 3 cubed is 27. So 2x minus 5 pops out, and I get 27. If I add 5 to that, I get 2x equals 32. And then divide by 2, so I get 16. X equals 16. Alright, and then you can mentally check it, 2 times 16 is 32. 32 minus 5 is 27. The cube root of 27 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. Alright, so for number 3, now this is a kind of a different type of problem. We did one like this in the examples in class, but at this point I have nothing to do but square both sides. So when I square the x and I square this, so what I end up here is I get x squared equals, this pops out, x plus 6. So this is a quadratic, and you know how to solve that. Bring everything over to one side. Now you could do the quadratic formula, but we're only going to give you problems that will factor. So if I bring everything over, I'll have x squared minus x minus 6. Because when everything comes over, it changes a sign. So when I factor this, x and 3 and 2 make 6, but also make 1. So do a minus 3 and a plus 2. So my solutions are 3 and negative 2 from this process here. I have to go back and check them. So when I check them, I kind of don't want this stuff here to bother me. So I'm going to plug in 3. So 3, does 3 equal the square root of 3 plus 6? Well, yeah, 3 does equal the square root of 9, so that one's okay. But negative 2, if I put negative 2 here, does that equal the square root of negative 2 plus 6? So that would be the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is not negative 2. That's a no. So I would have to further say that x equals 3 is my only answer. I will not accept this. That's an extraneous solution. All right, for number 4, I take away 7 to clean this up. So I got 2 equals, got a 4th root of this fraction, x minus 5 over 2. So at this point is where we're going to come and do the 4th power. So that would be 16 over here equals x minus 5 over 2. And that's because the whole fraction was in the radical. So I had to do that first. All right, so I'm going to multiply this 2 over here, so get 32 equals x minus 5. Just multiply both sides by 2 and add 5, so I get x equals 37. All right, and then on number 5, take away 6. So everything's looking good. Negative 2, radical x plus 8 equals 12. So now I'm going to divide by 2. And square root of x plus 8 equals negative 6. That's a no-no. All right, so no solution. Remember, no even root, an even index, square root, 4th root, 6th root can have a negative answer. All right, over here, I notice this 1/3 power. Now, if you don't like that 1/3 power, you can write it as a cube root, kind of like in number 2. But I'm going to leave it like that, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So I have 2x plus 5 to the 1/3 equals 5. And so now a cube root needs a 3rd power. And so you might see even better how when we apply a 3rd power, that's why they cancel out, is because you're supposed to multiply these exponents. So 1/3 times 3 is 1, so they cancel out to 1. So out pops 2x plus 5, and 5 to the 3rd is 125. All right, take away 5, I get 2x equals 120. Divide by 2, I get 60. All right, so number 7. Okay, let's see, take away 12 to clean this up. So this is a cube root of x minus 6 equals negative 2. Now, it's okay for a cube root to equal a negative. You can do the cube root of things, like the cube root of negative 125 is negative 5. But you can't do the square roots of negatives or the fourth roots of negatives. So cube roots, everything that has an odd root right here, 3, 5, 7, those are fine. So I'm ready to go ahead and cube both sides. So the left side pops out x minus 6, the right side, negative 2 cubed is negative 8. Add 6 to both sides, I get negative 2. Alright, for number 8, there's nothing to clean up. This 2, if I divide it over here, it's going to be in front there as a 1/2. I feel like that looks worse. So right now we're ready to just fourth power both sides. Now when you do the fourth power, you have to make sure you do it on everything. So the left side just pops out x plus 6. But on the right side, we have 2 to the fourth, which is 16, and then x plus, this radical fourth root of x plus 1 to the fourth pops out x plus 1. So I'm going to put some parentheses to protect it, because 16 has to multiply by that. All right, let's multiply this out. I get 16x plus 16, I get x plus 6. All right, so I think I'd like to take away x from both sides. So that way I have 6 equals 15x plus 16. Let's take away 16. So I have negative 10 equals 15x. So my answer is going to be negative 10 over 15, which reduces down to negative 2/3. Okay. All right, and the last one here, we got 4x to the 3/2 minus 5. So I'm going to clean this up. Add 5 to both sides. So I got 4x to the 3/2. So note that 3/2 is for the x, not for the 4. So I got to get rid of the 4 next. This is 32. So divide by 4. So I get x to the 3/2 equals 8. So remember, to get rid of a power, I apply the reverse power. So I'm going to apply a 2/3 power. 2/3 power. So these knock each other out, and that's why the x pops out. And 8 to the 2/3, that's my answer. But, you know, that's possible for me to do. You have two choices. You can do 8 squared and do the cube root, or you can do the cube root of 8 and then square it. Either way, you're going to get the number 4. 8 squared is 64, so the cube root of 64 is 4, if you like it that way. Here, the cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 squared is 4, if you like it that way. Whatever you feel like doing, it's possible to do without a calculator. So the answer is 4, either way. All right, that is it. Adios.